Привет, and welcome to the first episode of Russian News Roundup. Today is a special episode because it features someone, Shah, an American. This man's name is Patrick Lancaster. He has been touting himself as sort of like an independent alternative journalist ever since basically the conception of the Ukraine conflict. And I'm not talking about 2022. I'm talking about pretty much since the riot and Crimean invasion days. But this guy, in my opinion, deserves no kudos, as this guy basically has been peddling Russian propaganda for years. And I think he might be honestly paying the consequences for it. Um, what else can I say before we go into the video here? If you go back far enough on this guy's channel, he basically is there from the inception right there before the riots. But you'll see that over the years he seemed to really only care about posting hit pieces of the horrible Ukrainian government shelled this neighborhood, killed someone, just tons of videos like that. Um, And basically, if not that, at a certain point, he was just following the DPR, which was basically just the Russian-backed Ukrainian militia. This was the basically militaristic arms of the pro-Russian movement in Ukraine. Um, so I'm not gonna act like I've been watching this guy for years. It was literally just an algorithm pull like a month ago, but I immediately identified this as part of the Russian propaganda machine. And I think what really got me for sure to make that final decision was here, this video, Kursk frontline inside Russian operation that collapsed Ukraine lines. There was no Russian operation that collapsed a Ukraine line in Kursk. Here in the West, we know that there was talks of ceasefire, and so Ukraine willingly withdrew. If not that, it really wouldn't matter anyway, because it seems that Ukraine is playing the long-term economic drain game on Russia, because they successfully hit a very strategic objective. You notice they're not really shelling cities like the Russians are, even though the Russians have been guilty of the following thing I'm about to say too. Ukraine is far more focused on infrastructure targets. That is why they had done a massive drone strike the other day on the Druzhia oil pipeline, which is a very vital pipeline for Russia's natural gas sector. I mean, this thing goes up into Poland, branches north and south throughout the continent, I believe. And now these drone strikes probably messed with the oil pressure going through there. I mean, I think they say this thing pumps like millions of barrels of oil per month. Um, but I had to watch that video because I was like, what in the world is this guy talking about? And the first thing was like, I took note of was, well, yeah, this is definitely propaganda. And you see these comments down here. You can barely breathe, Patrick. Thank you for the hard work. Um, and stuff like this. But here's the thing. I don't think he's winded out of excitement, where you could possibly rule in the fatigue of like wartime stress. Um, but the body language I see in this video would suggest to me that this guy is fearful for his life, not because of a war, but because of the people that are handling him. What am I saying? I am somewhat under the suspicion, or heavily under the suspicion rather, that this Patrick Lancaster is essentially being held hostage by the Russian Federation and forced to churn out these propaganda videos for a Western audience. I was watching with one of my good friends last night because I wanted to show him and see what he thought. And I remember he said at the ending segment of this video, I wouldn't be surprised if they had a gun pointed to him off camera. And we'll get into this video, but I wanted to show kind of like the differences in this body language from a video from a relatively safe location almost 3 years ago to what's happening 3 days ago. So я думаю, что это возможно. So I think it's a possibility. So we're gonna see Ukraine port city referendum backed by Russia. This guy's body language seems a lot more.
And now we are arriving in.
He always talks like this. Now he always talks like this, but you'll see a very calm demeanor here.
The port behind me, you can see this whole line here of advertisements for the referendum. The referendum is in progress here as it is across all of Zaporozhye, because this as well is in the Zaporozhye region. Now we're going to go down to the center itself where the voting's going on and show you what the process is. Okay, so we have come to an undisclosed location. We've been asked not to film the outside for safety reasons, so this location is not attacked. But the situation here is, again, this area is like it was in Kherson yesterday, where there's special voting, early voting, for essential workers and government workers. Right now, we're about to see...
So we see a somewhat calm demeanor. He doesn't really seem to be signaling that he's in any type of distress. Let's get to the end here.
People at the polling stations about that. Here, no one has permission to speak on camera as far as the organizers go, but we had a discussion with them about what the situation is.
Put some coconut water, Red Bull combo, one of my favorite drink combinations of all.
Of this city.
We're gonna need it for this one.
People that are registered here to vote. So those people come and vote.
But really I'm lying, because this is all the off-brand Red Bull, which sometimes I like the taste more.
A separate list, and that list will be turned
sugar-free,
into the
of course.
Electoral
Shit gives me heartburn.
and they will compare all of the extra people that weren't on their registered locations and ensure that there's no overlays in any way, and that's what we're told. But we've got a lot more reports coming on the referendum, because as you know, this is just the second report here in Zaporozhye. We're going to be...
So yeah, we can infer the guy might have some odd mannerisms on camera. I mean, even here I would say this guy kind of seems a little stressed out, but it totally pales in comparison to this utter propaganda video.
I'm Patrick Lancaster. Right now we're in the Kursk region of Russia with Russian special forces, and we're going to be going deep in...
Like, why is he wincing like this? Why does he look like he's on the brink of tears? Why is he so red, indicating high blood pressure? And when we continue on to this video, notice how much he stumbles over his words. I'm not even talking about the Russian-speaking interview that we'll get into soon. I'm just talking about the straight-up intro here. This guy really looks like he's terrified of saying the wrong thing at any given time. Like, what are they doing to him off camera?
Side of the operation, the Russian operation that collapsed the Ukrainian defensive and Ukrainian lines here in the Kursk region. We're going to be talking to one of the commanders that was directly responsible for a large part of the operation, and that put Russian soldiers through gas tunnels and gas pipes to go past the Ukrainian defensive lines and collapse their lines, which resulted in Russia basically kicking Ukrainian forces out of the Kursk region. We're headed.
And the rest of the world is reading this as Ukraine withdrew to honor a ceasefire. I don't know, man. Like, this is Ruski propaganda.
Towards Suja now. We're going to be going to an underground bunker, command and control center where this commander operates and controls the situation, and he's going to be telling us exactly how it happened, and what will happen, and what's the situation right now. Please like, share, and subscribe. Remember, I'm a totally independent crowdfunded journalist. You can support my work with the link on the screen or in the description. Also, go down in the bin comments and subscribe to my Substack. We got a lot to come.
Actually, did I say Druzia or Sushi? I forgot the name of this damn pipeline. Blown up in Russia. 2025. Nord Stream pipeline. No, never mind. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, we could say the NS1 operation at NS2 was completed 2020 and never received an operating permit. Okay. So it was the Nord, I guess we call it the Nord Stream pipeline. But, yeah, this is a vital pipeline. Now watch, okay, so I feel like they're forcing this guy to, like, speak Russian, right? This commander, just the way the people are talking to the reporter, it's just so shitty in my opinion.
Можно представить себя?
Командир группы Аида, спецназ Ахмат.
Как я понимаю, вы командир группы, который был занимается это труба внутри Суджи, да?
Да, спецназ.
Суджа.
И можем за людей на США, Европы, которые не понимают равно, что был и как это произошло, можно сказать, что произошло?
Бригада ветераны разрабатывала пустую газовую трубу, поток газа, по которой был остановлен 1 января этого года. Разрабатывали ее для завода сводных штурмовых отрядов. У нас было 2 отряда штурмовых. На 15 километров 700 метров до противника в сторону Суджи, между промзоной и населенным пунктом хутор Кубаткина. В операции участвовал спецназ Ахмат, группа Аида, бригада ветераны, 30-й мотострелковый полк, бригада Восток и 11-я бригада. Мы поделились на 2 штурмовых отряда.
The impression I get from this is this guy's like, wow, this stupid American stumbling over my language. So on and so forth. Like, nobody even really cares that he's there, which is fine, but you would think there would be maybe like a little more respect.
В основном мы их уничтожаем. Кто пытается уезжать, уезжает. Но мы не даем никому уходить сейчас.
И когда украинский солдат не будет Курск еще раз?
Я думаю, это вопрос до 1 недели. Пока мы зачистим всех, потому что они пытаются убегать по гражданке, одеваются под местных.
Such propaganda. Oh god. No. Then we have like look at this command center and all these Like, what do these even link up to is what I'm interested in. I can't say for certain. Who even knows if this is real, like, layouts for, I'm assuming, drones? You take strikers and max pros and... I see, they abandoned us all when they retreated, so we took that stuff.
Убежали.
I don't even know that Russia would have the infrastructure to utilize that. But this was the part my friend was like, I think this guy might have a gun to him off camera. And I'm trying to determine the flag up here. I think my window might be blocking it. But it appears like... I can't say.
Ground, because you're not going to see it anywhere else in English. We show you what the Western mainstream media won't show you. We explain to you what the situation is. I don't explain it in my opinions or my words. I let the people who live this situation explain it. So
actually, I think you let the Russian government run train on you, and I mean, I guess I understand. I mean, you're stuck there, but buddy, this is what you signed up for. You wanted to be this guy that was exposing the truth, and now look at you. You found out, and now you look terrified in every clip. Why are you so red, man? Why do you look like you're about to get killed if you don't say the right thing? And even from myself, from an amateur linguistics perspective, it doesn't really seem like this guy is communicating Russian in a natural, learned acquisition way. A lot of these dialogues seem filled with anxiety and stress on his part, like he's scrambling to try to remember the right things to say. And in my mind, not because he's struggling with the language, but rather that, you know, what is it? Is it that they might, like, reprimand him when the camera turns off because his Russian's not up to par? I mean, obviously they're not, like, beating the shit out of this guy. I think it would be visible, unless they're just, like, giving him liver shots off camera. But there could be real implications of threats coming his way, psychological torment, mental abuse. I mean, you name it, anything's really possible here. But just the way this guy's speaking, look at the way this guy's looking around, look at his fearful eyes, his fearful body language. This isn't someone that seems that they're doing this fully independent on their own will and integrity, but rather someone who's been put to the task with no way out.
you have a better understanding of what's really happening on the ground. Regardless what side of the conflict you favor, more information needs to be seen by more people. More perspectives need to be seen.
Like, if I started talking like this all the time, what would you think of me? Would you think I was in a serious situation? Would you think I need to get out all the time? What would you think?
And it's your job to educate yourself. Search for as much information as many different...
Does it sound like the voice of a calm and collected person doing everything on his own free will? Or maybe someone that's been put up to the task by an evil government that might kill him if he makes a wrong step?
Perspectives as possible, and think outside the box. Don't just be led like sheep by the Western mainstream media. We're going to continue...
What if I looked into the camera like this all the time and did this? Would I look terrified all the time? Do I look terrified? What if my blood pressure was so high that my skin was red?
Continue on, showing you what's really happening on the ground in Kursk, because the Western mainstream media is hiding information from you. I'm going to show it to you. Don't just watch my reports, watch others.
Another one I wanted to watch here. I mean, obviously, I think we can infer here that this guy's basically just Russian propaganda. But this is what was interesting to me. This is them walking around Kursk, right? And they say, you know, one of the big Russian talking points. I guess it's not too far off brand at this point. I guess one of the Russian talking points that we see common commonly is Ukrainians, Azov or Azov, they're all Nazis, and soon you'll see this graffiti that was put in a I think it's like a chain grocery store in Russia. But you'll see 1488. But the part that happens next, at first I was kind of interested, but again, I don't know if this whole thing was maybe a manufactured incident. Like, it was very weird timing. Turn my ringer off. Pyaterochka. Pyaterochka.
Now we're at one of the several Petorkas that purportedly Ukraine forces
Petorkas?
rummaged through and stole things from. The number 5 Petorka stores, kind of famous, infamous in the Ukrainian memes.
Наскальные живописи оккупантов бывших.
8-8.
8-8, Путин, что-то там. Вот тут вот еще братья 8-8.
8-8 это что?
Ну он 14-88.
14-8-8.
Воинская часть, номер части, бригада их.
Это шутка, да? Это как наций символизм, да?
Да, да, нацисты. А вон сверху написано браты.
Okay, so I think a lot of people, okay, bratya is Ukrainian for brothers, but 1488, I think everybody, at least in my generation, kind of knows about this dog whistle at this point. But 14 is like a 14-word slogan of white nationalists. And the 88 stands for the 8th letter of the alphabet, which is H. So HH. I'll let you think about that one. I don't know if I can say it on YouTube without fear of a strike.
Братья.
Comment below if you
Братычка.
can explain exactly what that is.
Да.
Можно сказать, что это именно?
Он может сказать без матов. Это наскальная живопись бывших оккупантов, которые показывали, чего они придерживаются, когда заходили в этот город.
No, but, ага, понял.
Они книгу «Майнкафт» считают как свою Библию.
Это от Майнкрафт, да?
Ну да.
Ага. Можно туда? Дальше.
Like, why wouldn't he ask more questions? Like, I don't know. Now I'm just primed to think, like, oh, are they just gonna whoop this guy's ass if he asks too many questions or if he annoys them? And now here's the fun part.
Давай аккуратно. Просит поглубже посмотреть.
Не надо?
Могут быть мины, ловушки, секретки. Нежелательно суваться.
So, как сказать?
Враг при отступлении. Ну вон, смотри, видишь, прикончил добычу. Вот труба идет, и вон.
So now they don't want to
Bro.
investigate. Okay, hold on. They don't want to investigate because they think it might be booby-trapped, and they point to some pipe on the floor, which I guess you could say is a possibility. Or they don't want the guy to walk in because they don't want to see. They don't want him to see all the Krylon spray paint cans that they have in the other room that they perhaps maybe just plastered all this shit on. Because I wouldn't even be surprised if they were being ordered to like go in and tag stuff like this as like propaganda for the Russian people and propaganda to kind of try to boost morale as in like, oh, our ancient enemies coming back to attack us, like this is our, you know, we have to stop Nazism.
Давай, давай, двигай, двигай!
So apparently now a drone is coming to the frame. I can't see it on the footage. I can't hear any sounds in the audio that would allude to or suggest that a drone's flying around this position.
Big беги, беги, беги.
Папик, под ноги смотри, блядь.
Biggie,
Uh-huh.
biggie, biggie, durack.
Shit. Shit, shit, shit.
Let's see. Like where it? Oh, maybe there is a drone. I can't. But where is it? I can't see it in this film. There's a bird flying. There's the bird. It's flying over there. Where?
Drone там.
I don't see. Where?
Кажись, попал.
I guess I hit it.
Ходит. Двигай.
Like, come on.
Давай, 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 давай.
I mean, at this rate, I've seen better propaganda produced by the North Korean ministry.
Надо аккуратно отъехаться, да.
Так, ну у нас есть пару минут, когда они следующие отправят сюда.
Да.
Пора валить.
Что?
Пару минут есть, пока следующий дрон сюда отправят. Один убрали, сразу следующий улетает. Смотреть, кто стрелял.
Налево.
Потом начинается артобстрел.
Я рэп включил. Опять? Сука.
Блядь, он у тебя на рэп.
Нет.
На рэп, конечно.
Нет.
Рэпа не есть.
Не выпади только.
Я на подстраховке. С моей стороны чисто.
Ушли вроде.
Да не, он попали. Как ты самому удержал.
Yeah, I just don't know what to make of it really because I don't know. I just feel like there's no way this panel van slapped together with shitty stamp metal is gonna be like easily flowing through Kursk undetected. Like, is it the fact like this must have to be an empty area? It's just no longer occupied by Ukraine. They withdrew. So why are they trying to say that there's a drone coming for them? We didn't even hear about drones coming back and striking till about 24 hours ago. This was about 48 hours before this, if my estimations are correct. That's the publishing date. This could be like a week before that. But I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. I kind of want to get your thoughts on it because I genuinely feel like this guy might be like, well, in danger. That's about all. Thank you for watching Russian News Roundup 1. We will actually focus more on geopolitical issues in the next installment. Thank you very much. Spasiba.